here is a shout out to Aoya.com. You can choose for them to drop you anything for a very small price. Do not ever forget to use the coupon code RunCreates so that you guys save 3% on your next purchase and you help out me as a creator. What is crackin' boys and my ladies? It is RunCreates, and today we're going to be covering the top 5 best katanas in Elden Ring and where to get them, along with a katana haiku showcase at the end to show you why these katanas are so epic. With all that being said, let's get into today's content starting right now. So the first katana on the list is the Dragonscale Blade. You're going to have to make your way all the way down to the Lake of Rot to obtain this blade, and you're going to have to kill a dragon skin soldier. He's around the bottom right edge, you can find him. You're going to have to battle Scarlet Rot, so preservation blouses are going to be a must. If you fought in dragon skin soldiers before, he isn't too much different. He's even a bit slower, but the Scarlet Rot is what really makes this a troublesome battle. Again, preservation blouses are great. If you have a spell that can take care of that or some type of consumable, bring it all, bring as much as you can, and bring a pretty powerful weapon so you can shred this guy down before the Scarlet Rot eats you alive. But once you've done that, the Dragonscale Blade is yours. The Meteoric Ore Blade is a katana that can be found in the Caelid Waypoint Ruins. This one's actually pretty easy to obtain because you can run right from the ruins from the site of grace I'm showing right here. I do apologize because I do get a bit confused as to where this location is in the ruins, but I do find it. You don't even need to fight any of these kindred enemies, just run past all of them, open up the gate, and open up the chest, and the Meteoric Blade is yours. Very easy to get and you don't have to fight anything. Pretty nice. The Moonvale Katana can be found over in the Gale Tunnel in Caelid. Not to be confused with the Gao Cave, the Gao Tunnel is right on the left edge of Caelid, and it can be probably one of the first areas you get to if you decide to run here from Limgrave. You're going to have to run all the way through the Gao Tunnel as I'm showing here, and you're going to have to fight a Magma Worm. Now if you're low level, this guy can be a bit of a hassle since he is in an enclosed space, and all of his lava is going to get everywhere. It can become a real mess and eyesore very fast. So I highly recommend you take this guy down as fast as possible. Thankfully for you guys, I have multiple videos on the magma worms in the game and how to beat them, so definitely check them out in the Elden Ring playlist. But nonetheless, once he is down, you will have yourself the Moonveil Katana, the greatest magic katana in Elden Ring. Number 2 is the Rivers of Blood. One of my personal favorite katanas in the game. It can be found up in the mountaintops of Giants, over at the Church of Riposte on your way up to Fire Giant. Keep in mind though, since we're speaking about Fire Giant, Onika is only going to be available to be killed if you haven't defeated the Fire Giant yet. So if you beat Fire Giant before getting this katana, you're not going to be able to get it again. So make sure you kill Onika first and get the Rivers of Blood before fighting Fire Giant. Plus if you're doing a bleed or katana build, this weapon is a must-have. Rivers of Blood is insanely good, and I have multiple videos where I praise it for how effective it is. But that's enough of this before we get to the review. Now on to the number 1 katana. The number 1 best katana in Elden Ring. Here it is the Hand of Melenia. You know exactly where we're going with this. We gotta make our way over to the Haggle Tree and down to the roots. There you're gonna have to defeat Melania, the Blade of Amicula. And once she is defeated, you obtain the remembrance of the Goddess of Wrath. Once you obtain her remembrance, go back to the round table and talk to Finger Reader Ina and obtain yourself the Hand of Melenia, along with her beautiful armor set if you will. So number 5 is the Dragonscale Blade. So you guys might be wondering why exactly I picked this one over the Serpentbone, and there is a pretty good reason why. Number 1, although the Dragonscale Blade is a plus 10 weapon that upgrades with Somber Smithing Stones, its physical damage is 269 plus a 292 bonus, not too bad. It also has lightning damage imbued in it, which does an extra 130. It has B-Dex scaling and it has D-Strength scaling, along with having a pretty cool weapon art. Now although at first the Lightning Strike weapon art it possesses being the Ice Lightning Sword, might sound a bit awkward for a katana, it actually is pretty good. Not only does this weapon art strike really fast, but it also makes a strike of electricity hit the ground. This also imbues your sword with lightning damage as well, that plus 130, but also allows you to proc frost on your opponents. How epic is that a katana has this many purposes? An epic strike that not only buffs our katana with lightning, but also sends down a strike of lightning as well, and frost procs our opponents? Nani? That is right. Its moveset is what's to be expected from a katana except from its weapon art. And unlike the Lionel Knights, where their lightning strike allows you to hit an opponent with a lightning strike from pretty much any range when you're in range with them, this one only does it right in front of you, which, although that might seem kind of lame at first, if you can strike it, it's pretty good. Because remember, this buffs our weapon, and there's a high chance that that strike of lightning might end up putting a frost proc on the enemy. Which, come on, this is number 5. I know there's only 8 katanas in Elden Ring, but for the amount of epicness that's within each katana on this list, I think it completely makes up for the lack of there not being too many. Next up is the Meteoric Ore Blade. So, right off the bat, this weapon doesn't have the best damage output, but don't worry, it makes it up with a few other nice little components. The Meteoric Ore Blade upgrades with somber smithing stones, and it has a physical attack power of 274 with a plus 175 bonus, but it also has magic butte in it as well with 176 magic with a 60 magic bonus. Its scaling is very awkward with C strength, D dex, and C intelligence, but it does cause a 50 blood loss buildup, which is sweet. Its moveset, like most katanas, is very pretty much the generic swing and slash, but what makes it so epic is not only the damage with its magic, but its weapon art, which literally is a cool gravity spell. So you do have a bit of poise, only a bit of poise with this strike on the ground you guys saw right there with this bad boy, but it does bring in enemies a bit closer. Sometimes it just kills them outright, but it is incredible. Now, I've tried this on bosses, and it does in fact work on Melania, which is interesting. But in most cases, if an enemy doesn't survive, they'll just die. But if an enemy can survive, it's going to pull them in a bit, which is going to allow you to get a little strike in right before they get out of their stagger from it. So overall, it's an epic blade for the number 4 spot. Next up is the Moonvale Katana. So the Moonvale Katana is by far the best magic katana in the game, in my opinion. You upgrade it with somber smithing stones, and it has a physical of 178 with a plus 140 bonus. Now, although the physical damage isn't the greatest on this weapon, what it doesn't lack in physical, it makes up with magic, being 123 magic damage plus a bonus of 122. That's very good for a katana. And, not to mention its B in scaling, which also furthers that magic prowess with B dex. So if you're doing a dex imp build, you are getting a bang for your buck for sure. It also still stays true to the katana code with the 50 blood loss buildup, which warrants some very much needed katana hypu. But its weapon art is what makes it so crazy. The Transcendent Moonlight. It has 2 ways it can be used. The first one is with the horizontal slash with the R1. And this one is pretty cool. It doesn't have the greatest range though, even with its heavy, but it's still cool to have a little bit of a reference back to the good old Moonlight Greatsword's heavy weapon art from Dark Souls. Also, the heavy does an overhead swing, which can hit enemies up in the air, believe it or not, depending on how you aim it. And it also gives it sort of that cool, fast, almost like, you know, the Fray Blade, how it has that line that goes across the ground. It sort of is like that. Very epic. Now let us go on to the Rivers of Blood. Rivers of Blood is my personal favorite katana in the game. It has a very interesting spread scale with its attack power being 186 physical with a 182 bonus. Now, although again that doesn't sound too powerful, it makes it up with its fire being 186 as well, but having a 44 bonus. But what really makes this weapon really crazy is its bleed ability. Now, it does have a 20 arcane requirement, D arcane scaling, B dex scaling, so if you are doing a dex build, you're still getting your bang for your buck. And it has a blood loss buildup of 52, but that's going to come in handy with its Corpse Piler weapon art, or Ash of War. Again, it does sport the same exact moveset of the generic katana, but again, the Ash of War is what really makes this shine, as you are doing some fairly good ranged slashes of epic blood with your katana. And this allows for not only a good amount of damage, but also a high build bleed up, along with a bit of crowd control with its range, which can overall make this weapon a very effective katana in so many different situations. And against Melania, if you watch my How to Beat Melania video, got a video of that in the Elden Ring playlist. check it out. Tons of power to you. But overall, its ability it has of, I mean, Corpse Piler is an epic name, but it stays true to its purpose, even against some really tough foes. Now again, and it isn't as powerful against foes that are able to resist bleed, but against opponents like Melania, it is going to do you justice. And for the last but certainly not least weapon on today's list, at the number 1 spot is none other than the Hand of Melenia. Oh man, what is there to not say about this weapon? Hand of Melenia upgrades with somber smithing stones, and it has a physical attack power of 286 with a 303 bonus. It's probably got the highest physical attack power out of all the katanas in the game, and also has B dex along with E strength scaling. It does have a huge dex requirement, and it also causes a build bleed up of 50. However, what makes this weapon so amazing is, besides its graceful look and it belonging to the blade Amicula, is its waterfowl dance. You know, that one move Melania does, where if RNGesus isn't on your side, she just completely wrecks you with a bunch of fury swipes. That's exactly the weapon art you get here, and it is crazy powerful. Now, unfortunately, you don't heal back your health while using it, but you can have that ability if you watch my Bloodborne video. If you guys check out my video on how to use Bloodborne mechanics in Elden Ring. But the Waterfowl Fury is insane, as you take on the same exact fighting style of Melania, the blade of Amicula. Now, although you can be easily staggered out of it with certain attacks, in PvP, this weapon art completely destroys peeps. You think that your rivers of blood are really gonna protect you from this? Possible, but if they ever get this on you, you're basically done for. As yes, you can also build up their bleed with this weapon art too. So overall, you're going to be doing quite a bit of damage against almost any player that has the misfortune of having to duel with you. Yeah, I guess you could technically take down multiple foes with this at once, especially since you can continue to combo this even afterwards. And it still has a crazy, insane swipe blow up at the end, just like Melania. Overall, this weapon art is absolutely nuts, and it's so epic. And even though I won't say it's the most broken, because of how late game you get it and also how easy it is to get staggered out of, overall it is an incredibly good weapon. As a katana, being from Melania herself, it is no wonder that this is the best katana in Elden Ring. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment sections below what your favorite katana is and why. Also, while we're at it, make sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe and hit the notification bell for more Elden Ring content on the channel. After all, I'm gonna say it's a bit early, but make sure to join the journey through the lands between by checking out my Elden Ring playlist in the description below. Over 100 videos within a month's time of the game's release, and we're still going strong. There you can find all your Elden Ring content and goodness that you so desire. However, allow me to stress this if you decide to be courteous enough to subscribe. My fellow Tarnished, make sure that you go and hit me up on your email list. It's extremely important that you do so, because if you don't, what's going to end up happening is you might not ever see another one of my videos again. This is because YouTube's recommendations and subscriptions are extremely flooded, and even though you're subscribed and have the notification bell on, there's still a chance you might not get my videos, so it's very important to have that bit of extra notification. Plus, if I ever release anything else, you'll be able to get notified there too. But quickly, if you guys use any of my socials I have in the description below, make sure to go and follow me there. Hell, hit me up with a DM, and then we'll make a conversation. Also, on that note, make sure to join my Discord server as well. We got all the boys over there chill. We're all playing Elden Ring, and we would love for you guys to join us. It would be our pleasure. But before we end off today's video, make sure to use my coupon code RENCREATES to save up to 3% on your next purchase at Aolia.com. Use the link in the description below and put in my coupon code so you guys can get whatever runes and items you need in Elden Ring to help you get a boost. Heck, maybe if you don't even have the time to get the weapons in this video, you can go there and they will drop it for you. So yeah, what are you waiting for? Rise, my fellow Tarnished, and brandish thine Elden Ring.